right, welcome in SMO gamers to more of the Any Percent Freshman League.
Woo!
You hyped?
I am pretty hyped, especially since I'm in the sophomore version of this league, and
Right.
was kind of hyping it up in the last match. Um, so pretty excited. I love SMO. I begged Sarah and Mew to run the game forever and a day. Now he'll run it about once a month. So yeah, excited anytime I could see some hot SMO action.
Totally understandable. I actually commentated your last race, so
I know. I'm sorry. The rust is real.
slandering me. Oh, you better watch yourself.
Apparently.
I'm
But
Nurse
yeah.
Allison Rose here. We have Thoreau.
And
This is hi. This is a race between Scorch and ZackInTheBox. Just pre-warn, this is a restream, meaning these gamers race together at a predetermined time. So this is not live. However, I do not know the results, and I'm pretty sure Thoreau doesn't either.
I do not.
Okay.
So yeah, I was already explaining a little bit in the transition. You look at the PBs down of each of these individuals, 111.55 for Scorch and a 114.09 for ZackInTheBox as we get underway. In this freshman league, we've seen upsets, we've seen all sorts of craziness. So those PBs don't really matter. We're going to see some excellent SMO gameplay from these gamers as we're getting started now.
Well, I wouldn't say they don't matter, but they're not the only factor we have to take into account.
I mean, that's the thing is like when you're playing so inconsistently, like myself, where you're sitting around, my PB is a 109, but I'm an average of like 111, 112 here recently. Like when you have PBs that are this high, consistency really is a key. Strats, like I know in my race they were talking about that I was following the small ant tutorial, and
Yep.
But that's the thing. I've actually, that route existed before Small Ant decided to put that on his YouTube. So like a lot of the stuff has changed since I started running the game, which was about a year and a half ago until now. So there is a variation that could possibly happen. I've never seen either of these runners run before, but there is a variation. Okay.
Sarah and Mew, thank you for asking. This match is not live. I appreciate you asking, though. So we may see the runners come into the chat. Who knows?
Who knows? Scorch. Going in here.
But yeah, I guess I was thinking you were going off the small ant tutorials just because that's how a lot of people started running this game.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. For me in my story, I've been able to commentate like the SMO grand finals with pace and things like that. And so when I initially learned, it was pretty much just asking a bunch of questions to some of the older runners, Nitro Vita, Dangers, Chaos Pringle. Oh, Scorch, jumping a little bit too early.
Not sure what that camera was there.
Yeah, that was weird. That was really strange. ZackInTheBox taking a slight lead here as we finish up into Cap Kingdom, headed into Cascade. But yeah, so, it's really interesting, being a part of the SMO community so long ago and then leaving and then coming back. It's so interesting to see the different variations now, and even more interesting and exciting, I guess, to see how many people run this game. Does that make sense?
Agreed. I mean, this game is one of the most speedrun games in history. There are thousands of runs on the 100% leaderboards.
Yes.
Community is very large. I did not get involved at launch. I've only been in the community about a year.
Gotcha. Okay.
When I joined the community, but
well,
I'm very involved in all moons and the longer categories as well.
Yeah, I think back when I ran, it was still called AUM at the time.
Right. Yeah, it was changed to all moons because people got confused with the U.
Right. So headed into Cascade here, fairly simple for those of you that have not watched speedruns of this game. Cascade Kingdom, we're going to be getting 5 moons here. ZackInTheBox.
Pause buffer.
Okay, all right. I guess was expecting a cutscene there that doesn't exist. Whoops.
Right.
All right, so ZackInTheBox heading up for our first strat of the game, which is going to be Dino Skip. Basically, what's going to happen is we're going to push this dino forward, use the left foot on the trampoline to get as much height as possible, and bounce up. Oh, okay, like super far away. Wow, okay.
Made it, though.
Yeah, made it. To be able to trigger that cutscene and start this fight. Interesting. So, ZackInTheBox actually doing a shake at the end there, which is which is not completely optimal. Ooh, too close to the barrier though.
Oh, he's gonna have to spin.
Yeah. All right. So
you need to be careful here with your timing and spacing, as the brutal needs to extend out a certain area before you're able to snap back and hit her for one of the 3 hits. So if you're too close to the barrier, you have to actually take a turn, which causes you to lose time.
Oh, okay. Little spin pound there, kind of off target. But yeah, so it's got the chain chomp has to extend all the way out, and that's why you'll see a lot of like mid-tier or beginner runners, and they'll actually shake at the end because it'll push that chain chomp, quicker out. But it's actually waste a little bit of time. You want to have enough distance in between you and Madame Brood so that you're kind of at that exact length that you need to be.
Exactly. For this 5th and final moon, it's generally accepted there are 2 options. The above a high cliff moon, which we see the runners going for. This is the more beginner to intermediate level moon. It's more consistent. And the other option is called chest clip. And it's a moon below, which involves a moon clip. It's somewhat inconsistent. One of the game's top runners, Lucid, is very famously memed for always missing it. And it only saves about 1 second.
Yeah, it doesn't even save that much. And for me, I yell in my runs and say that it's just RNG, but it's hand RNG.
It's not.
It's not. It's not at all. But going into sand now, this is going to be the first of the longer kingdoms that we see here. For the top runners, I know that it's been mentioned time and time again here in the SMO Any Percent Freshman League about DST or daylight savings time abuse, which we're not going to be seeing here. My route that I run is definitely older.
Your run.
Yeah, mine is from the old 1.0 routing where you still do the
That's
same.
what I thought.
Yeah. Maybe I'll change it up and do notes. I just hate notes with a passion. Is my issue.
Yes, in the chat, simplified Chinese is the fastest language. It was until about 7 months ago, people thought that Japanese was the fastest until somebody retimed it and said, hey, simplified Chinese is faster. Right. So if you're watching a run or tutorials from before 7 months ago, like if it's before that, it'll be in Japanese.
Now, and maybe you can kind of enlighten me. When I ran many moons ago, it was more late bird was the way to go, but I see a lot of runners going for early bird here. Has something changed? In
this current route, early bird is the way to go. You will not see runners get the bird in the Oasis unless they make a big mistake. Very
interesting. All right, Scorch.
You'll see the very, very, very top level runners, like the top 2, top 3, go for a more advanced route called Reverse Town, which actually involves getting the employees only moon right after planting the seed. That one's a little bit different. But what you'll see most people doing is the bird and the pipe moon. But yes, early bird is what you'll see from almost every run.
Very interesting. I did not know that. So Zach getting caught up in a ledge grab here. Looks like going for the dram. Ooh, but that...
Mate? Nope.
Nope, yeah. As soon as I saw where that platform was, I said, this is going to be really iffy. All right. Zach having some issues getting back up here.
What he was trying to do there when he up threw his cap was capture that bullet bill right after getting the moon in the alcove. Saves a couple seconds so because you don't have to do the climb.
Yep.
The SMO community just decided to name anything with a capture warp dram.
Yes.
So,
and even things that aren't even capture warps drams for some reason, such as snow dram.
True. Right now we're on the trend of naming things DSS. There's DSS, 2 DSS, and 3 DSS.
Yes.
So, 3 DSS is the newest one. It's in skipping 3 of the bosses in Darker Side by doing a precise jump to skip the bosses' cutscenes. Yes, 3 DSS is real, Saren. That is a real strat. It stands for 3 Darker Side skips, but you won't see it in this run.
So here's where, if they were getting bird late, this is where the cycle starts for the bird.
But they both already got the bird, so.
But they both already got it. So, like I said, for me, nice little bonk on the sign there. For me, I hate notes with a passion. I don't know why. I'm stubborn. Being one of the oldest SMO runners in the community, I just say that I'm just a stubborn old man. And
Dangerous always says that's him. But
oh no.
Yeah, the notes moon is what you'll see most runners use. Almost every run you'll see runners do notes.
Yes.
That would be the notes on the trees in the Oasis.
Okay, what's going on here with ZackInTheBox? Interesting. Okay.
Oh, they're waiting for the bullet bill? I'm not quite sure why.
The only time that I've ever seen that is
they're doing
in...
Jaxie skip. Okay. Oh
no! Taking a death on Jaxie skip here.
Oh, but he was able to do a capture warp. That's fairly frame perfect. You have to be really careful because you're not supposed to be able to warp unless you're on the ground.
Right. But that was an interesting choice of movement there because typically you only see players waiting for the bullet bill if they're doing like Darker Side and they're going for that far moon in the box over there. So that was kind of different for me.
Yeah, I doubt that was intended. He probably uncaptured the bullet bill by accident, would be my guess.
And that's fair. Yes, and thank you for going into... I was actually going to be mentioning that of what dram is and where that name came from. Yeah, and so basically he asked for a strat not to be named after him, so now we just name every strat after him.
He doesn't even play the game right now.
No, he does not.
For years, so.
Speaking of that, while we're globing here and capturing these moons for sand, I did want to read this off. I mentioned it to some of the people that were in the SM64 match prior. Chaos Pringle is making a comeback.
I mean, he's 6th place, I think.
Yes, former world record holder. Has won multiple GSA championships. Tweeted today 5 hours ago, "I'll come back sometime in 2021. Some people need to be put in their place." So, fighting word.
My guess is that he's referring to Psionic. Psionic is in 5th place right now. Chaos does have a 58-minute time. One of only 6 people, I think, with 58s. Or maybe 7. But Psionic is the former Dark Side world record holder. Yep. He actually bopped Chaos's any percent time a few weeks ago. So that's maybe what he's referring to.
And, we've had a lot of longtime rivals between some of the top runners, Tyrone and a few others as well. So it's only speculation at this point, but hopefully we can see Chaos coming back. I don't know if you noticed that Scorch in the beginning here was going for that first moon, but unnecessarily spin pounding there. It only really saves time. Okay.
I don't know why they did the down throw there. That wasn't really necessary.
That was weird. But it only really saves time with that particular spin pound if that spin pound is buffered. So taking the time out to actually spin separately, it's much easier just to do a ground pound and kind of be done with it.
That down throw definitely was not optimal either.
All right, so ZackInTheBox having a little trouble grabbing this moon. Scorch grabbing the moon. Gonna be going up to see our second boss fight, which is going to be Rango. This is, I don't know, I'm sure you remember in my race yesterday, I don't know, I had trouble getting up there for some reason.
Well, that area is notorious for input drops, so it's something that you'll see fairly often. Yeah, people talking about in the chat. Yeah, 2 people have 57s, Mission Tyrone, another notorious kind of rivalry. However, they are pretty good friends.
Yes, they are, and to be perfectly honest, so that you guys know, a lot of these guys I've been able to meet and hang out with in real life, and yeah, there's a nice friendly rivalry that goes on, but you know, that's pretty much where it ends.
Yeah, Tyrone basically a few days ago got the new any percent world record, a record that had been standing for 5 months. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Very, exciting time.
Which is pretty cool. I've been lucky within the community, being able to commentate with Dangers at pace and doing those things. I'm so excited that CCG has decided to help host these tournaments because this is a community that's been really near and dear to my heart for a long time.
Dangers, yeah, very, very cool guy, very good runner. Of this game. Tater Plays, thank you for the raid. Welcome in, gamers.
Fat rate of 1,100 million people. I don't know what we're going to do with all these viewers, except watch this excellent SMO gameplay. These guys have been neck and neck, pretty much kind of trading back and forth a little bit. No major mistakes, just small optimizations in movement. But this is kind of where the rubber meets the road here in Wooded.
All right, Wooded is definitely a turning point in many players' runs. They're like, if I can just get past Wooded, then, I'll be okay. Yeah. I'm not really expecting to see too many high-level strats, just given the PBs and what I've seen so far from these gamers.
So probably just a warped route.
Probably.
Which, I would assume around the time you entered into the SMO arena, that warped route that we're probably going to be seeing here soon was a big source of contention whenever Cheese came to run SMO for a little while. Chaos Pringle was saying, hey, yeah, warp route, that's going to be the fastest for you, and everybody else was like, no, but now it's the new standard for beginners to not do the climb.
Right. It is not, because I believe it's seen as less consistent. Routes are very, very often changing for this game, especially in any percent.
Yep.
And things are getting retimed.
What the heck? I didn't expect that. Oh, and missing the movement, that's fine. If he would have gotten that nut clip, saving a little bit of time over his opponent, but see, it's the clip is not that difficult to get. It's the movement after the clip that's, to me, more challenging, I guess.
I would agree with that. The out-of-bounds movement, if you're going for the moon out-of-bounds and not just the gate clip, that's pretty hard. Some players do the moon clip just to get through the gate on purpose and don't go for the moon out-of-bounds.
Not getting it, though, but Zach doing the setup for moon clip, which is kind of interesting to see with a 114 PB. Wasn't expecting to see that. Scorch going for that warped route that we were talking about, basically going down here into the sub area, grabbing these two, what we like to call pipe moons, and is going to warp back up to the top rather than having to climb.
Right, and I just looked. Looks like Kokacking is at 988 followers. What do you think, Thoreau? Can we make 1,000 by the end of the day?
We better.
Would that be possible?
We better. If so, then I'll do something. I don't know.
993. Oh, Twitch must not be up to date. Everyone smash that follow button. Right now. Do it. We'll know if you don't.
Yeah, we will. CCG will know. All right, Scorch warping back up, just like I was saying before. ZackInTheBox headed down to the pipe now. So we're going to see Scorch most likely hit this flower, the piranha plant here, spawn the moon, and go ahead and go around the corner, hit another nut, grab another moon, and then go back. Lots of spin pounds from Scorch. I don't know, I think when I started learning buffered spin pounds and things, I just kind of did them everywhere because it was fun.
Yeah, some people do like to do that. Buffer here refers to doing the inputs before you technically need it, like during the cutscene.
Yep.
That's the difference between a buffered spin pound and a spin pound. Like if your player's doing a spin pound, it'll kind of look like they're twirling around like a ballerina and then go down. But buffered, it's a little bit different.
Yeah, so you can actually buffer that input in a whole bunch of different places as well. So a lot of the top level runners will see them buffer those inputs while being in a roll or in a dive as well, depending on how fast you could swirl that thumbstick around. Zach having issues getting up to this nut. That was kind of rough. Alrighty, heading into the tower for Scorched here. Taking a bonk, but going to be grabbing 2 moons here. And I find here, no, we saw Scorch do a spin pound there. I find just a regular triple jump into a dive is actually super consistent for getting up there. If you can't measure out that distance very well. But Scorch grabbing this moon.
Ooh, flower road skip. Ooh, oh. Looks like ZackInTheBox there was actually trying to go for flower road skip, which means skipping this flower road. It only saves about 2 to 3 seconds optimally. And he almost died doing it, was able to save himself, and then decided to take the L and take the flower road.
And see, and that's the thing of what I've noticed so far is Zach is doing some more advanced things, you know, attempting some more advanced things here. But Scorch kind of just doing the tried and true. And it's working out in Scorch's favor. Fighting Stewart here just as Zach is heading into the bottom of this tower.
I have a good friend in this community who's very famously known for going for all the safe strats. He doesn't go for like any flashy tricks, but he has a 104 at any percent. He just got an 800 in all moons yesterday, so the safe stuff can really get you far, and he's a good example of that. We always make fun of him for it, but he still goes really fast. So.
Well, and for those Super Mario 64 runners, there was a runner who doesn't really run anymore by the name of Blue Bob, who demonstrated that in YouTube, where movement saves minutes, strats save seconds. So that's one of the things that I'm really focusing on in my runs is strictly movement, getting from point A to point B as efficiently as possible.
Right. Am I allowed to plug people? Is that allowed?
Sure, why not? We just charge you at the end of the stream for whatever the amount is. So yeah, no worries. Just kidding.
Yeah, the runner I'm referring to is Joe Cool 57 _.
Well, of course.
Otherwise known as Joe Cool. He's very good SMO runner, very underrated in my opinion. You can go check him out if you want.
You know, and that's why I like the SMO community as we're watching these cutscenes here. The SMO community has grown and changed so much over the past year and a half. A lot of the older hats have kind of moved on to other things, and it's ushering in an entire new generation of runners. So that's pretty cool. All right, headed into Cloud Kingdom. There is a strat here, which is fast caps. Looks like Scorch is not going to be going for fast caps. Oh, okay.
Ooh, missed the cap.
Accidentally gave Bowser his cap back.
Ooh, missed it again. No.
Oh, got it. Okay. That was really, really close to that boundary. If you're too close when you grab the cap, Bowser will just take it from you and say, ha, it's mine. Okay.
You actually can get those hats low right up where Bowser has it. That's what Throw was talking about, fast hats. It does save 5 to 10 seconds. So it is a worthwhile time save if you're able to be consistent at it.
And that's where I've actually been kind of playing around with it. I think probably the best tutorial I've seen out there is Tom Shee has got a really good tutorial on fast hats.
Yeah, Tomshi has really great tutorials. That's Tomshi with 3 eyes. He's Australian, top level SMO runner. Also a very cool guy.
Fun fact about Tomshi, when Tomshi started running this game, was under a different name. Do you know what that name is?
I don't know.
The Headphoned Mage.
Interesting.
But we all called him Tom anyway, so he's like, all right, you know what? Forget it. I'll just call myself Tom. That's fine.
He hates the fact his name is 3 eyes, though. He's pushing for partner and wants to get rid of the two of the 3 eyes. So
I don't know if you noticed that ZackInTheBox actually doing fast hats there, was able to get the backflip and grab the hat in the air. Looks like he's going to try it again here. Get a damage boost here to get those iframes and backflip right into the hat. With a 114, I'm kind of surprised that he's doing that. That's really awesome. But that's exactly what I was saying, is that Zach is going for these like slightly more risky strats. But I don't know if it's paying off at this point. Scorch scaring off the butterfly, having to go into first person to wait for that butterfly to spawn back.
Right, yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem to be working totally well in his favor right now, going for the riskier strats.
Right.
You know, if you go into any top level runners chat and you say, like, what trick should I learn on picking up the game? They'll tell you, like, you know, you can learn Dino Skip and Mooncave Skip or Fish Flip, but after that, just work on your movement.
Exactly. I agreed 100%. I think the first strat I ever learned was Mooncave Skip because it's a must-have. You have to have it.
Yeah, it saves like 3 minutes.
Right. All right, ZackInTheBox. Really weird.
No, not Scoot Clip. You don't need Scoot Clip.
No. I learned Scoot Clip. I haven't done it in any of my races. I learned Scoot Clip by Dangers actually taught me holding my controller upside down.
Yep, you have to.
It works. It absolutely works. But then you get beasts like, you know, Chaos Sprinkle and those guys that are able to make it happen. And it was interesting watching these guys play live because, like, Dangers, every time he wants to spin pound, he actually hits the side of his controller.
I have heard him do that. I've been in Dangers community about a year. And instead of, like, doing the bus thing, you know, like, shaking the bus, because this game is very motion control heavy, he slaps the side of his controller.
He slaps it, yep. It works. He's able to do it consistently, which is really cool.
Thanks for the 100 bits, by the way.
All right, leaving Lost Kingdom, a fairly fast kingdom for Scorch. ZackInTheBox trying to catch up at this point. We've got a lot of areas where Scorch could lose time. You know, Zach is not that far behind. You know, if Scorch just happened to get a 3-cycle, put Zach very close back to Torch, but Zach going
for the iron
cage. Yeah. Interesting. Instead of the stone cage.
And this is another example of him going for the harder tricks, or the harder moons, and Scorch going for the more safer things. So we have two very different gameplay going on right now. We have a runner that's going for very safe, consistent, slower strats, and we have a runner that's basically going for all the tricks and the hard stuff. Perhaps Zach saw the difference in PB and said, I need to go for everything in order to win.
Oh no! Scorch, not able to get to the top of the building, having to take the wall kicks of shame here.
At least he didn't die.
He did not die, which is good. All right. Scorch is now back on track here. That bonk there is so infamous for me. I absolutely hate it.
So you can get the Goomba bounce? Yep. It's very satisfying.
It is. Heading up into probably my most favorite and least favorite part of the run, which is going to be the City Hall climb, because it's so nice. It's like the Forge Room to watch someone hit all the cycles they're trying to hit. It looks like Scorch is okay here. Gonna make it. Gonna do a backflip up, line himself up with this purple coin, and jump all the way up.
And I just want to correct myself, Scorch. I apologize for using male pronouns, they, them. I apologize for any misuse.
Scorch is looking really good. Oh gosh, that was scary.
Yeah, they just ended up right on the railing there. That was very close to dying.
That was so close. And looks like Zach having some issues as well. Having to climb back up the wall kicks of shame once again. They're exchanging right now. It's interesting. Scorch fighting this Mecha Wiggler. So what's happening now? It looks like Scorch is just staring in a corner. But what they're actually doing is moving around and manipulating where that Mecha Wiggler is coming in and going out of the wall. So that the Mecha Wiggler is as efficient as possible. So you see cutting the corners there. Gonna line up the Mecha Wiggler one more time into the corner.
Alright, yeah, so this is trying to manipulate, the Wiggler. And if you're watching something like All Moons or 100%, the runners will actually uncapture the tank and Capro farm during the intermission phases.
Good old All Moons. Gotta get all those turret moons.
Oh no!
Oh, Zach.
ZackInTheBox falling down all the way down City Hall interior. I'm not sure what happened there. Did they get like a first frame?
I'm not sure. I know that the most common mistake from what I've seen with that jump is when you're going across, the game is not really intending for you to jump completely across like that. So the camera pans automatically, which can kind of throw off your dive. Oh, okay. Zach not quite lined up properly just to go all the way up with the wall kicks. Let's see here. Zach's going to reattempt this jump across. What's getting up top? I'm going to see a long jump here. The camera panning. The camera is really weird. That was odd. I don't think I've ever seen the camera do that.
All right, Scorch here into the day metro section.
Going to be doing a dram.
Yes. One of the easiest drams in the game.
Yes.
So this is Nintendo's vision of New York City, essentially, pre-COVID.
That's fair.
Since the game was released in 2017.
So look, I feel Scorch's pain. In my race yesterday, I could not get that stupid car to do what I wanted it to do. Oh no, overshooting it. Oh, not again. There we go, finally.
Yep, you can skip using that car by doing a trick called Scoot Clip, where it involves jumping on the scooter. What Bro was talking about, how Danger's taught him to tip his controller upside down. That's what we're referring to.
And another dram from Scorch here. Oh, not quite getting it though. All right. Missing the bench here. You want to try to land on the bench. Mario has a slight animation that he does before he sits down on the bench to talk to this very lonely man to give him a moon.
However, this man is not the loneliest in the game. In post-game, there's a guy right on the edge of town staring over the edge, and he's very sad, and if you go to him dressed as a clown, he'll give you a moon. You're making him happy.
Making him happy. Not just giving him attention, but making him laugh.
Yeah, I don't like the clown outfit.
It is pretty creepy. All right, Scorch.
I'm guessing we're going to see an early musician's route. There are a couple different routes in Day Metro.
Yes. Yep. Okay, bouncing off of Pauline's head. So, a fun fact that I just want to throw out there for those of you that are watching, Pauline, which is the mayor of New Donk City here, appeared in Mario games before Peach did.
Really? I did not know that.
Pauline, Zach didn't
Zach
get the moon. No, he did not. So, yeah, Pauline was actually the lady you were rescuing in Donkey Kong.
Oh.
As Mario. Scorch is speed.
Alright, yep, this is Scoot Clip here.
No. Missed it just a little bit. Nope, you're going to have to go back around. You're going to have forward momentum. You could do it by just doing what he's doing now, which is running into the side of the cage to build up some speed and then turn your controller as a backup.
Oh, we got bots in the chat. Love to see it.
All right.
Spin pound long jump. Yeah, you can do like a triple jump off of there. Some runners do that. I've even seen roll cancel bounces to get to that moon.
Mushiros. Them's fighting words, buddy. All right, Scorch headed up to the top of the highest building. I don't know. They don't even have a name for this building, do they? Oh, no.
Dizzying Heights.
Dizzying Heights. I know that's the name of the moon there, but I was thinking like Empire State Building.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Okay. City Hall, it's just called, I guess.
I mean, yeah, I guess so. I guess it is just City Hall. All right.
All right, yeah, getting that 2D hint art in the pool, 200 coins, which allows them to buy a moon in Snow Kingdom. The addition of those hint arts, like when Thoreau was learning to play this game, those hint arts didn't exist.
They did not, and
because they were added in later on.
It was terrifying. You always had to watch your coin count, specifically before going into Wooded and before going into Snow, to make sure you had at least 100 coins. That's why the Sphinx clip was so popular back in 1.0, because you were able to get in there and get a whole bunch of coins and not have to worry about it. And then when Nintendo decided to randomly come out with an update to the game, version 1.3, out of nowhere, wasn't planned, wasn't announced, they kind of got rid of those, along with a couple of speedrun strats that a lot of us worked really hard to learn.
Were you at pace when it came out?
Yes, I was at pace. As a matter of fact,
really?
When we found out about it, I was sitting next to Dangers because he was working on IP clip with me.
Yeah, so 1.3, the current version of the game, actually came out while many of the top level runners were in person doing at pace. So, they were all there in person learning it.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know what PACE is, it's a live action event that's actually put on by the Global Speedrun Association. They typically have it annually, but due to COVID, did not have one this year. Hosted out of Maryland. I know myself, Simply, from the SM64 community, Dangers. There's quite a few folks that attend these events, and community organizers such as Beat F100, and maybe one day we'll get Serenmu to come out and visit.
Yeah, I think Necrovita was there, Stravos was there, Little Curb was there, Chaos Springle, lots of big names.
And Mr. Doggo, the reason why people say that about consistent versus inconsistent strats, if you're practicing or you're just doing runs, that's perfectly fine. But ultimately in races, you're going to want to go for what you're more consistent with, because you're not going to risk that time loss. So a race really isn't the time to be able to practice and hone those strats that you're working on, but to do like your tried and true, what you know, because that's what's going to be in your PB.
Exactly. In races, people are not generally expected to PB, so you want to play, as close to your PB as you can, while doing what's safe and what's consistent. So you're not risking dying or failing DSS 5 times.
Right. And Mr. Doggo, in my opinion, with the Jaxie skip miss, and then a couple of the strats that Zach is going for is a little bit advanced. But both of these runners have really good movement for their PBs. So my recommendation is a lot of people want to. Ooh, Scorch taking a bonk there. A lot of people want to go for those big fat PBs because they feel great, but that bonk was so great that Scorch decided to take a little video of it. But honestly, working on those smaller things, those smaller movement things over time, and getting those smaller PBs is probably just as rewarding, in my opinion.
Yeah, we got T-Man Dan in the chat, SMO runner. He is actually one of only 3 people to get every moon in the game without taking damage.
Dan, my good friend, You know, he's definitely in that grandpa category that I'm in. Same age as me. Good to see you, buddy. All right, Scorch, looking really good. Oh, I was just saying, looking really good, but dove right there at the end. I think you said we just let that cap kind of fly and use that momentum he'd have gotten up there. And I just want to throw this out. Yesterday in that race, I had that exact same thing happen to Scorch. I still don't know how I recovered it. I just kind of like flailed everywhere, and it made it work.
I know. The other commentator and I were like, what? Like, we were so confused.
Yeah, I was just as confused. Don't worry. But good to see you, Dan, back in the chat, back around on Twitch. Can't wait to see you back on the damageless circuit. For those of you...
Yeah, the only people who have done it all damageless is Fur, Timpani, and Dan.
And Dan. You know...
Cheese James is working on it. He's getting there. But not quite yet.
So Dan has also done quite a bunch of different runs. Got me to do crouched percent, which was interesting. And
that is interesting.
Where you're permanently crouched. Dan has also played the game with he had both Joy-Cons, but only his right hand, I believe, controlling both Joy-Cons. So yeah, really excited to see Dan in the chat.
Yeah, crouch percent is not an official category extension. I mean, there are a lot of category extensions that are official that are quite odd, but that is not one of them. Yo, Slap Daniels!
And Slap Daniels coming in with the
Slap
yeet.
Daniels is an absolute legend in the SMO community. He's known for throwing around hundreds of gift subs. He's also a very good runner of this game himself. Very speedy. Nice to see you, Slap.
Speaking of speedy, Scorch heading up to get their last moon here. While ZackInTheBox is going to be joining them here in just a moment. Got to do one sub room, which is the Goombas. But Scorch about to end their... Oh, gosh, that was scary. All right, Scorch going to be ending up their time here in snow. Zack grabbing the Goomba here. Got a total of 3 more moons before we move on. Oh, okay.
Scorch is just heading out. They got their final moons here. They went for very consistent strats. They did have some bonks. Oh no.
Oh no!
ZackInTheBox taking the death after the Goomba moon.
Now, oh, okay. So
depends on where they go for the long jump.
There we go, okay. So, yes, it is a small time loss there. However, not as big as some other areas. You know, able to just long jump across, grab the last moon, get into the pipe. And Scorch not letting off the gas pedal here.
ICC? No. ICC refers to Ice School Corner Clip. It's a frame-perfect trick in the Goomba room. Not very RTA viable. You'll only see it only in maybe individual levels, or if Psionic is feeling frisky that day,
right?
He might go for it.
Yeah, not really a time saver at this point, but looks like Zack getting a bonk there and deciding to save that clip as well for later. Okay, Scorch getting a down throw.
Interesting. Interesting.
That works. All right. But yes, and you know, commentator doing their research, Mario was in Donkey Kong before ever being in a Super Mario Bros. Game. Just had to confirm that once again. Oh, okay. Oh. Not getting an up throw there, or getting an up throw there, which was kind of weird.
Maybe they went for a motion control cap throw and got an up throw instead.
Yeah, maybe so. Oh, all right. Little off on the spin pound This is another section where, in my runs personally, I know I can save time by just coming to grab the fish, but I like the Gushin. Leave me alone.
I know, when I first saw your first run and you went for the Gushin, I was like, where on earth is he going?
Yep.
He's going the wrong way. Someone tell him to turn around.
So, that's pre-fish clip tech right there.
Alright, a Scorch actually took some damage there in the Sea Bacon, and you'll notice there is about a 1-second health refill for every damage you take when you get every moon except for a multi-moon.
Yep.
So you want to keep those in mind, as far as taking damage and time-wise.
So, and that's where it was funny. Timpani was running Super Mario 64 at one point and was thinking that the health bar refilled the same as SMO, where you lose a little bit of time, but it doesn't in that particular game. But here in SMO, you'll see it's so slight, but it is a small time loss with taking damage. We'll see it right here with the refill under Dory as we get ready for Fish Clip.
Right, so if you hit a checkpoint, though, you will, or get a heart,
Yes.
you don't get that damage refill, so you want to, if you're trying to save time and there's a checkpoint right near you, grab it.
Yes, agreed. And that's where, okay. See, I found going just to the left of that little divot is a little more forgiving than trying to get it, like, right in the divot right there for Fish Clip. And it's scary here, so Scorch doing really well getting that moon. You can accidentally clip back in, which is a huge time loss, having to go and speak to the Sphinx rather than clipping into the bottom and grabbing the moon here.
Well, Saren Muse not subscribed to Cool Cat Gang. SMH my head.
RIP. And I actually run on a Pro controller. But that's because I've got, like, big gorilla hands, and I feel like I'm going to break the Joy-Con at some point.
Not the first time I've heard that. Joy-Cons are smaller. More runners use Pro-Cons than Joy-Cons. But it is personal preference. They're not really needed in any percent.
Right.
There are only if you watch All Moons run, you'll see runners actually have Joy-Cons on the side paired, and there's like 4 or 5 instances where Joy-Cons are needed, and it'll use those controllers, set them down, and then
switch back.
Get their Pro controller back. So.
Yeah, I agree, Slap Daniels. The actual joysticks feel better in my hand.
I mean, the Pro controller is more similar to the traditional, like, video game controller, whereas Joy-Cons are very unique to the Switch.
Right. Yeah, I agree. All right. Scorch, already in luncheon. This run going by fast here.
We got a poll here. What's better, Pro-Cons or Joy-Cons?
Wait, hold on.
Oh, it's riggable, though. It's riggable.
Yeah, exactly. Hold on, I gotta buy more
bits.
bits.
Get your vote in. Bits? You're using bits?
Hold on, I gotta buy more bits.
Alright, Scorch is here on the Spirit fight. This fight is generally considered fairly easy as long as you get the cycles down correctly. Scorch doesn't seem to be having any troubles with this. Well, ZackInTheBox enters the Luncheon Kingdom.
Oh my gosh, it looks like the Pro-Cons are winning. What's going on?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, what's happening?
Somebody is also giving bits for the Joy-Con. Stop that.
Or someone just has a ton of channel points.
This is how we all give Saren our money.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Give Saren all your money. Subscribe with Twitch Prime. Make Jeff Bezos pay. Alright, and now ZackInTheBox is here into the Spirit fight. Scorch had a very clean Spirit fight. They didn't really have any issues.
Yeah, it's interesting the geometry here in Luncheon kind of throws some things off occasionally, especially when either going for like a wall slide or a wall kick. It can be kind of weird.
Yeah, I call these mountains, I call them rock candy mountains because everything's made out of food and they look like rock candy.
Yeah, that's fair.
But their hitboxes can be kind of weird and you need to be very careful. Sometimes you'll see runners even rolling over it, which is very risky strat.
Right.
But, for the time save, runners will do anything for the time save.
Exactly. You have to. All right. I mean, these runners are still very close together in the same kingdom here. We've got some pretty difficult spots coming up. Scorch doing very well. Going to be manipulating the camera here. And what they're doing is there's a Podobo that's right there, just popped up. And we're trying to get it to spawn on that far side so we can just do a cap throw and grab the Podobo. And that's what that camera manipulation is.
Exactly.
Heading up to Forks now. Just as ZackInTheBox going to be headed to the top of this building.
I personally like Forks. It's a very interesting concept. It has great music.
Yeah, it does. It is really cool to watch, Mitch and those guys do Forks. And it's a lot of fun once you start getting the movements. There's multiple up throws in there. There's multiple fast movements and motion movements in Forks. So it's a lot of fun. ZackInTheBox throwing that golden turnip in. Fun fact, Mew used to make fun of me all the time because he said I always missed the turnip, which I don't know where he got that from.
Oh, there's absolutely no basis to that whatsoever?
None. Zero. Zilch.
I see.
All right. Scorch heading up to the top, going to be grabbing a moon on the top here before going to get that pan bro and cut some cheese.
Yep, everything in this kingdom is food, in my opinion, except for the lava, which is Pepto-Bismol.
Yep. So, fun fact, after this cheese here, T-Man Dan is credited with a strat that I like to call, and he likes to call, the fart bean. So, after that moon, if you happen to kick the bean, at the same time Mario is long jumping, it literally looks like there's a fart coming out of Mario's butt.
I think Scorch had their controllers desync.
I think so too. All right.
You spent 365 bits.
Wait, did I?
Sam Mew contributed 23,000 channel points.
Holy crap.
Saren, you spent 23,000 channel points and you didn't even win.
Yeah. So that's who was spamming. Got it. Okay. CCP is worth the 300 bits to say that Procon is superior.
Can't even rig your own votes. SMH.
All right. Scorch is wrapping up their time here in Luncheon. Going to be going up to the top, knocking that salt off of that meat, and grabbing the multi-moon to leave, taking a bonk. They just want to stay in Luncheon Kingdom for a little while longer.
Apparently so. I mean, you'll oftentimes see people come into SMO streams and be like, which kingdom would you most like to live in, or most like to visit? And a lot of people often say Luncheon.
For me, it would be Mushroom.
I'm more of like a seaside kind of gal, very.
Or snow. I'd say snow
vibe.
too.
I live in Wisconsin, so I get enough snow.
And I grew up in Florida. I live in Colorado now.
You'd like to visit Lost? Why would you want to go to Lost?
Yeah, I wouldn't want. No, thanks.
Slap, you're crazy. Come on, man.
Insanity. Or Moon. Moon would be cool too. I mean, it's got a big cathedral for no reason.
True. I personally really love the dog that lives in Moon Kingdom because he floats, and he also has a little helmet that's like super adorable. So.
Yeah, that's fair. Most likely to die in Lost. You're not wrong there. Oh no! Zach! ZackInTheBox gonna take a death here.
He got the moon, didn't he?
He did. Still gonna lose a little bit of time.
Yeah, because he's got to get back up to...
All right. Not too crazy. It's way worse whenever you're running darker side and you accidentally forget to get this checkpoint right before the meet and have to go all the way back.
Yeah, checkpoints aren't really important in any percent because you're not often warping. Like, unless you're doing like late clip or something, you really don't need checkpoints.
Yep, I think the only one, well, you need the one at the top of City Hall and Metro, and of course if you're doing the warped route in Wooded. Those are the only two I can really think of that you have to have. I love Darker Side. I love the longer categories to be able to see more of the game. All moons, I can't do all moons because I can't jump rope or volleyball to save my life.
Jump rope is the easier one, and it's also riggable with like letter glitch.
Yeah.
Volleyball, however, you just kind of have to be good.
Yeah, I've had Timpani try to teach me, and I just like, all right, well, guess I'm not going to run 100% or all moons. I'm so bad at it.
Yeah, Timpani being one of the top all moons players, had the world record for a long time, until Fur took it.
Yeah. All right, Ruin Kingdom. Now, this has been a source of contention in the Super Mario Odyssey community where, you know, this is almost like an auto-scroller at this point. You have to fight the dragon. It's always going to be 3 cycles. Not a lot of room for time saves, but, you know, if we could get rid of Ruin Kingdom, I think SMO runners would be a lot happier. Looks like Scorch finishing up, fighting that dragon just as Zach is coming in to fight the dragon. So we're looking at about 2.5 minute difference between the runners as of right now. We'll get a more accurate count on the exit from Ruin Kingdom.
You know, you make an argument there to get rid of Ruin, but I have heard one argument for it. And the argument for it is it gives runners kind of a breather before they get into the home stretch, you know, before they get into Bowser's Kingdom and have all these things that they could fail. So, you know, they have a little bit of breather before they get to the rest. So that is one argument for Ruin Kingdom. It gives you a little time to just relax.
Well, you know, Serum, the former President George W. Bush would think Murica.
I don't know what George W. Bush would think about Ruin Kingdom. I couldn't tell you. I've never met the guy.
Saren just found out that in my time in the military, I served on presidential support for 5 years, including 1 year of George W. Bush's term.
Ah, I see.
All right. Scorch heading into Bowser's here. A couple of different route variations we can see.
Those route variations being very small.
Okay.
Bowser's is very linear, and you have to do its story moves in order. The only really changes you'll see are the extra 2 moves you have to get.
Now, I don't know if you saw that. Scorch, I don't know if that was intentional or not, buffered a spin throw, but then the dive was short going up top, so took a bonk going up to the pylon. No. Yeah. Grabbing the ogre here, probably ground pounding into the moon. Boop. Yep. I am so confused, Mr. Doggo, what you're trying to tell me.
Slab Daniels, I'm going to have to disagree with you on that. You know, Slab, I love you, I appreciate you, but
I'm a Harriet First King.
Agree to disagree on that.
I'm a Harriet First King.
Same.
All right, Scorch headed up going to be getting shards here for a moon. I love the movement, especially the pro movement for shards. It's so satisfying to watch. Scorch going for a lot of like buffered spin pounds and spin pounds and pounds and pounds and pounds and pounds. Oh, okay.
They really should have taken damage on that boss there. I don't know how they didn't.
I don't either, because I didn't know you could squeak past it. That was weird. All right.
But yeah, Shard's movement is, pretty important. It's in every category since it's a story moon that you need to complete on, and it's can be very difficult at the top level. The platforming is pretty insane.
Zach getting a random up throw there. I love when I accidentally spaz out with my controller and get random up throws in random spots. Ooh, okay. That poor ogre got a headache before getting destroyed.
True. Yeah, there's another spin pound there.
You're not
definitely
wrong.
sub-hour. Definitely. 100%. Alright, Scorch is going for Harriet first. For those of you not familiar with SMO, there are two bosses here with their arenas next to each other, Harriet and Topper. The game does not force you to do either boss first, you get to pick. And it really doesn't lose or save time over which one you get. So it's been a long-standing meme, which boss you do first. Mostly a meme.
Well, according to the viewers, Topper was at 90-something%, and it's just like magically, I don't know, I think there's maybe been a recount.
Ooh, what's happening there? I'm not sure.
The voting has stopped.
That's odd. That's very odd.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know.
I did just get the 1,000 bits badge, though.
Yo, Pog!
I mean, I can only click my mouse so fast, because someone else is clicking just as fast.
Yeah, I mean, most, like, the top 3 runners do Harriet first, but it doesn't really matter which one you do, because the game doesn't really care.
Yeah, and yeah, it's all about personal preference, pretty much. I just hate Topper.
The reason I'm for Harriet first is because we read left to right, and Harriet's on the left.
It's logical,
so
but
makes sense. But
wait, but don't in some cultures they read from right to left?
That's true. But I'm not in those cultures.
That's fair.
I am American, so.
America.
Alright, ZackInTheBox here is going for Topper first. So we have equal distribution here between Harriet first and Topper first runners. Yeah, Topper is, most people will agree that Topper is harder. Yeah. That's not really a point of contention.
Yeah, they're definitely, I mean, it's more movement, it's more timing. As we see ZackInTheBox there struggling a little bit, jumping on that hat.
Wow, there's like 400 votes in this. I don't know what's happening here.
I don't know, I looked away for a second. That's what happened. Yeah, I mean, if you take damage in Topper, there's still a box right there.
I see, Sarah. The viewership is blowing up. I gotcha.
Oh god, I'm out of bits. Alright, fine. I guess Topper first will win.
Yeah, because clearly someone else has more bits.
You have to buy more bits.
Alright, Scorch is heading here into the Mecha Brutal fight. This is one of the hardest parts of Bowser's Kingdom. It's a big platforming stage. There are lots of different strategies. Scorch is going for the Burbless, which involves climbing the leg. This is not how Nintendo intended you to do this. And you have to hit those 4 bubbles. But there are phases of invulnerability in which you cannot hit it. Slap Daniels contributed 11,000 channel points. And Hero contributed 1,135 bits.
Yeah, well.
Dang.
It's for a good cause. I'll say that. Alrighty. So right now, ZackInTheBox really needs Scorch to fall off, but doesn't look like it's going to happen. Scorch just has one more little bubble to grab here, looks like. Oh!
Oh,
no. Curse! Scorch! This is exactly what ZackInTheBox needs to be able to take it from behind. Holy crap.
Why did you say that, Darrell? You made him fall off, even though this is pre-recorded.
I'm just following the script, okay? That's all it is.
I see, okay. I didn't get the script. You sent me that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's on its way now.
Alright, Scorch here was attempting to climb back up the leg with the Pokio, but couldn't quite get it. Is on 1 health right now. Looking kind of scared. Oh!
Death! Taking a death! And just like that, we're almost neck and neck at this point. This is exactly what Zach needed. No!
Oh, goodness gracious me. Okay, Scorch taking the death on Mech. That is several minutes time loss.
Oh, man.
Oh, goodness.
Wow. Looks like... What is that doing? I'm so confused right now.
I have seen some runners go up the left leg. It is considered a little bit easier as the way that the mech holds its legs. There's a few more platforms available to you that aren't on the right leg. It's a little bit slower, but it can be considered easier.
Interesting. I don't think I've ever seen that. Oh, okay. Not quite getting topper. Having to flip that camera back around.
Yeah, so we could be seeing ZackInTheBox here pull ahead with a death on Mech. Scorch has also fallen off Mech again, which is something we haven't said.
Yeah,
having to work his way back up. This is a major change of pace here on Mech.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of shocked because this is huge.
Very. I mean, Scorch is having troubles getting back on again, too.
And just like that, Zach ends up taking the lead for, I think, maybe the first time in this race?
I think so. I think that's true.
Oh, no. Scorch not able to get up there fast enough. The little wood panels on the side closing up and getting stomped in the head. Ouch. Oh, no, and he misses again. What's going on?
Oh, goodness.
He's not going to have enough time. Oh, up. Come on. Oh, my God. Oh,
Scorch is now on 1 health, so they're going to have to be really careful here. And they didn't kill that Pokio either.
They're an absolute legend. That was insane.
Oh, no. What happened?
And another death. Another death.
Oh. My face right now is the absolute picture of the not like this.
Oh my God.
Scorch has to be, I would, what's going through their head right now, I would not know, but dying 2 times on Mech in a race, you know, that's heartbreaking.
I mean, here's the thing, you know, being in this situation, being in races, I'll tell you, I've said it time and time again in my commentary, speedrunning is literally 90% mental, right? So, especially in races like this, where you're in a controlled environment, you're facing off against people, especially people that you think that you should be able to beat fairly easily. Mistakes like that, you have to be able to recover from them quickly. And
oh no!
Or not recovering at all, falling once again due to rushing. I mean, I think
going through Scorch's headspace right now. It just has to be, you know, like what happened. And, this is what happens when runners, kind of get into their head and get nervous.
Right, exactly. And it's hard to let mistakes go. I mean, as speedrunners, it's really hard. I don't know what's going on right now with Scorch.
I don't think they're going to make it back up.
I don't think so either. Oh, what? Oh! Oh, man.
ZackInTheBox here, we haven't talked about him in a while, but he is on PB pace here in the Moon Kingdom, for sure.
I think my moon gold is like a 558, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, Moon typically takes about 5.5 to 6 minutes at this level. Scorch finally beating the mech, but lost several minutes to 2 deaths and falling off several times. Absolute heartbreaking. They were very much ahead coming into mech. And mech just destroys things. It destroys lives.
If you ask some of the runners that have been speedrunning for 7, 8, 9 years that have been in these types of races, what's the best skill to go into a race with? It's being able to let go of a mistake. That's the hardest thing. Put that mistake behind you. We do that, in our own home streams. How do we do that? We reset. But in a race, you don't have that ability. You just have to let go what the mistake was, put your head down, and keep going on.
Exactly. ZackInTheBox here did miss the hat, but he is comfortably ahead at this time. So
what? That was weird. Did you see that?
Yeah, and I'm not quite sure what happened there with that second hat. Perhaps Cappy didn't properly home on the hat.
So he's really far away from the hat when he's throwing Cappy. So when I'm in this fight in particular, I like to hit the hat. I throw my cat back to where I know for a fact. Where I know for a fact that Cappy is sitting directly below Bowser's hat. Because then I know when I let go of that button, it's coming on my head. Yeah, that spin pound was pretty legit. I'm not gonna lie. The Bowser hat spin pound is OP. Zach rushing a little bit. Not able to get that fast hat.
Oh no. And Zach here is having difficulty with the fast hats. He did not go for the fast hat on the first round. Right now, for Zach to win and for him to PB, he just needs to, play consistently what he's good at and not die.
And that's why I know that this is pre-recorded.
Yep.
However, for me, when I'm racing live, I don't like to look at the other player at all. As a matter of fact, I turn on my stream, I turn off the camera, I turn off the mic, and the only thing that's on my screen is the game. And I know that even though this is pre-recorded, they did a race at the same time.
Yes.
And I always like to wonder if they're watching each other.
The runners in the freshman league slab have PBs between like a 110 and a 120.
Yes. In the sophomore league, it's sub 110, which stinks because my PB was like a year and plus ago. It's like a 109.27.
Mm-hmm.
But luckily, the Cool Cat Gang has gotten so many participants in this particular tournament that we had to make a second tournament inside the first tournament to make sure everybody got in, which is pretty cool. I don't know what Zach was doing there, like just ramming Bowser's head into the wall for a minute.
I was watching Scorch, but so I'm not quite sure. Yes, if Zach lives, he definitely can PB. Definitely does not need 2D skip,
2D
but
skip at all. What about 2D skip?
That's even harder.
Oh no! He went for 2D skip and
no.
lost it. That's about 40 seconds at least.
Okay.
that wasn't even necessary at that point. But that's what I was talking about at the beginning. Zach going for these harder strats that, calm, cool, and collected is what Zach needs right now at this point. And if that happens to cost Zach the PB, I would definitely go back and kind of reevaluate different strategies.
Right, and I mean, coming into Moon, he had several minutes of leeway, but he lost a lot of it in the Bowser's fight.
Not going for 2D skip, I don't blame him.
So he lost a lot of, his time in the Bowser's fight, but was still coming into the escape with PB potential. So it's not just the failed 2D skip, however, it is part of it.
Right.
So perhaps Moon ILs should be in the future?
Yeah, I mean, I like to tell a lot of runners who ask for an any speed game, ask for advice on PBs. My thing is, don't go for those big giant PBs of minutes at a time. Do the baby steps, learn the game the correct way, learn the movement, and you'll find yourself to be more successful.
Alright, Zach is here in the Pillars room. In my opinion, one of the best songs in the game, so feel free to drop your Pep ADs, Pet Jams, and Sour Peas in the chat.
Alright. The Pillars trolling Zach just a little bit here.
Alright, Scorch did get 2D skip on their first attempt.
So, Zach just slightly off.
He needs to angle Bowser a little bit to the left.
So Zach definitely did have PB potential in this run. Gonna be wrapping it up here. Zach for the upset.
Definite upset. So GG's for ZackInTheBox. In the chat, please. What was it? Final time? I didn't quite see it.
It was a 1:15. Blah, blah, blah.
1:15. Blah, blah.
Yep.
Okay.
Sure. Hold on. The statistician that Saren hired is going back to take a look really quick. They're reviewing it in the booth. But let's see what they end up coming up with. Looks like final time is going to end up being 1 hour, 15 minutes, and 23 seconds.
Okay.
For the final time for ZackInTheBox. Scorch just not having a good run there at the end. Mech really destroyed that run for Scorch. I know that they're going to be back in at the drawing board reevaluating Mech for sure.
That was definitely, a heartbreaking loss there from Scorch. They were ahead most of the time, finishing with a 1:16.22. So GG's for them in the chat as well, please.
Yep, almost a minute behind, and that just goes to show that you can have a great run because Scorch was in the lead for most of that run, all the way up until that mech fight. But wow, that's shocking. But that goes back to what I was saying about consistency with runners in the freshman league, and that's why we like to say at the beginning of the matches that anything can happen. Those PBs can be a factor at the bottom of the screen. However, look what happened in this particular match.
Right. Yeah, I think these runners are European, so they are asleep in bed at this time. We won't be hearing from them directly. But yeah, definite upset. ZackInTheBox taking the W here. That just goes to show anything can happen.
It really can. And before we start to kind of close out, I do want to send a shout out to the Cool Cat Gang. For those of you that are watching right now, Saren does a lot of work working with other organizations to make sure that all of these tournaments go on without a hitch. So shout outs to Saren. If you want to help, really, really simple, ! Volunteer. You can fill out the form. We're always looking for people to help restream and commentate and all of these crazy things. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and drop a teaser here really quick. Coming out in the next couple of weeks will be an organization that I'll be sponsoring that will help train commentators. So if you want to learn how to be a commentator, how broadcast media, stuff like that works, let me know. Thank you, Sarah, for dropping those links. Just shoot me a message over on my Twitch. I'll get you into that first class, and you can be in the commentary booth with us.
Yeah,
yes,
and also feel free to drop a follow, obviously. Subscribe with Twitch Prime, donate bits. And also, if you type !freshman or !sophomore, there's a PayPal link where you can contribute to the prize pool. Slap Daniels, thanks for the sub.
Pop it in for the 2-monther. But yeah, stick around. We've got a lot more SMO action coming up. We've got Pods, which is the number 3 seed, with a 109.32, going up against It's Not Rob with a 114. You'll have to stick around for that because I'm sure it's going to be just as entertaining as this last match. So stick around. Don't go anywhere.
All right. See you later, gamers.